All right, y'all, we got to talk about this guy because he has been absolutely tearing it up so far in practice. And we got to talk about this guy because the question remains, is this player going to be a major piece of this Colts offense in 2024? We're going to talk about it here. Let's get to it. All right, what is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. I am your host, Cody Felger, and today, guys, I want to talk about an Indianapolis Colts player who I think may have a major factor into this offense in 2024. Of course, I'm talking about Indianapolis Colts second-round pick out of Texas, Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell already has been tearing it up in minicamp. He's already been tearing it up in OTAs. This guy and this wide receiver has already been just absolutely electric. He has popped out at every single practice that the media has been at. And this guy is just continuing to build the trust of Shane Steichen, continuing to build the trust of Anthony Richardson, his quarterback, and really of his teammates in general. And, I bring this up because you think about last year when it came to training camp. And obviously we're still a month or two away out of training camp. We still got a long way to go for that to kind of see when they put the full pads come on and all that stuff. How does he look? But I get similar vibes to what Josh Downs did last year. He was tearing it up like immediately. Like you knew that he was going to be a big factor into this Colts offense. Like from the moment he stepped on the field and had a horseshoe on his helmet, you knew this kid was going to make a big impact with this team. And I get similar vibes that I had with Josh Downs that I do with Adonai Mitchell because, even on Tuesday's practice, just another impressive day with 7-on-7s. He caught a touchdown from Anthony Richardson and just continues to just be so explosive and such a big playmaker. And you really do kind of wonder, Adonai Mitchell, when he is at his height, can he be that number 2 legitimate wide receiver from day one and potentially even become number 1 wide receiver, right? He has all the talent in the world. This kid was darn near a 10 RAS score. So super athletic, was super productive when it came to touchdowns in college, and just a kid that I think just screams and oozes potential, just oozes it. And so you think about what his role kind of with this Colts offense is. We already know the Colts have Alec Pierce on their roster, but Adonai Mitchell's kind of like Alec Pierce 2.0, right? He does the things that Alec Pierce does in a lot of different ways, but he also offers so much more in his skill set, so much more in his bag, right? He does so many different things that, frankly, Alec Pierce doesn't have, right, as a wide receiver. And so when you think about that and you think of the fact that Adonai Mitchell was a second-round pick, but honestly, if it wasn't for how deep this wide receiver class was this year, one of the more deeper classes we've seen, I think there's no question you pencil in Adonai Mitchell as a first-round pick. I really do believe that, right? So the Colts got him, and a lot of people were saying, this guy's a steal. And I believe if he has his head on straight, which it definitely appears that he does, seems like he has definitely just jumped all the way in with the Indianapolis Colts, and he's been just such a great teammate already from everything we've seen, from what we've heard from coaches, his teammates, and all that stuff, right? Adonai Mitchell is already fitting in so well with this Indianapolis Colts offense, and so you got to wonder kind of what is his role going to look like, number one, and then number two, when he's on the field, what's he going to look like, right? And I think you already seen some of those things, right, in those 7-on-7s and some of those, 11-on-11 sessions, things like that. Adonai Mitchell has just continued to show out, continued to be a stud. And I'm obviously very excited to see with training camp what he's going to provide because I have no doubt he's got some highlights in him coming up this season. But even from day one, how much more can he offer this Colts wide receiver room and this Colts offense in general that they frankly didn't have last year? I think he can offer a ton, and I think this Colts offense can do a lot more than they could do last year because of the skill set of Adonai Mitchell. And I think he has the potential, just like Josh Downs did last year, to be a day one impact guy, to be a guy. Remember, Josh Downs came in, he broke the Colts receiving record in terms of receptions, right, in year one as a rookie. Right. So now the fact that the Colts have Anthony Richardson back, Shane Steichen's obviously still the play caller. We know that he's a very good play caller. And now you have Adonai Mitchell and his skill set. I mean, I really do believe this is a guy that, some people might laugh at me for this, but I could see a scenario where Adonai Mitchell leads the Colts in touchdown receptions this year. Like, he is a touchdown machine. If you remember his time at Texas, it was something like every 5 catches he had in college went for a touchdown. So this guy is like a human highlight reel, right? It's like kind of what we saw when we said, like, with Jelani Woods, right? I know obviously it's a completely different player, not an apples-to-apples comparison, but that same idea, like every time you throw the ball his way, good things happen. That's the case with Adonai Mitchell. And obviously he was playing, sharing some of those targets with a player like Xavier Worthy, right, last year. So you definitely think, like, if Adonai Mitchell gets on the field, if he beats out Alec Pierce for that number 2 wide receiver spot, if he's kind of the primary guy there, I think he has potential to honestly do some really big things in year number 1 for the Indianapolis Colts. So I talked about it already. The skill set's there, the talent's there, no question about that. And he just, he obviously, hopefully he's in the right space mentally. And I believe that he looks like he is, right? Looks like he has a great support system around him. And he's a guy that I believe if he reaches his full potential, he's got superstar written all over him. I really do believe that. So, guys, let me know your thoughts here on Adonai Mitchell. I just had to stop and talk about him because it feels like every time I read anything from the local media or anytime you see a highlight, it seems like Adonai Mitchell's in that highlight or he's being talked about. And he seems like a guy that's going to be legit with the Indianapolis Colts, maybe even from day one. But guys, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Adonai Mitchell. Are you as high as I am on Adonai Mitchell, or do you believe maybe we need to tamper some expectations for him in year number 1? Curious what your guys' thoughts are on this. But guys, let me know all those things in the comments down below. That'll do it for this one, guys. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to turn on that notification bell so that you know when we drop fresh content just like this. Just because we're kind of in the dead period, if you will, of football for the next month and a half, or 2 months, doesn't mean our content's going to stop, right? We have a ton of content on the horizon covering the Indianapolis Colts. So if you're diehards just like we are, this is your place, man. You guys are welcome here, and we hope you'll consider subscribing and following along with everything along the Indianapolis Colts. Even though it's the offseason, we never take a break. So we hope you guys will join us along the journey for that. I know Derek and I, we try to put up the content and high-quality content for the diehards just like we are. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, go Colts.